Yo, what's up, gangsters? Another training. Probably like, who the fuck is this quirked up white boy? We're going to talk about how to master the various elements of the sales call. All right, so we're going to talk about targets. I made a video about this before on my YouTube, but it was just one piece of the call. So in this training, I'm going to go through the entire call. So the point of this training is simple. I don't want you to just memorize the words on the script. I don't want you to just memorize the framework, but I want you to understand your target, the outcome of what you want them to say back to you. So this way, you understand why you're asking the question. And when you know why you're asking the question, there's many different ways to ask it so that you don't have to just memorize one way, one certain line of questioning. You can come up with many things on the spot to steer and redirect the conversation. So, without staring at myself in Zoom and how handsome I am, think of the sales call like a hallway, and through this hallway there are a certain amount of doors. You have to unlock each door to get to the very end of the hallway where there's a big bag of money, or there's like an ATM where you just put in your card and boom, out pops whatever you charge for your service. Let's say it's 10K. Boom. You just get the 10K out. All you got to do is get to the end of the hallway. And so if you know the targets, it's the passcode for each of the doors in this hallway. So with that said, let's dive into this. The sales call checklist is target training. Okay. Intro, not going to go into that very much. Really nothing too crazy. The frame is like the path for the call. I basically want to establish, okay, hey, in this call, we're going to map out where you want to go, what's working now, what's not, and what are the potential roadblocks getting in the way of you hitting your goals. And if I can help you get there faster, we can talk about what that looks like. If not, I'll try to point you in another direction. Sound fair enough? Hell yeah, sounds great. Or you can use this. The purpose of this call is just to see if and how I could potentially help. If I can't, I'll point you in another direction. If we can talk about how. We're not doing this like, you don't have to do this thing where like at the end of this call, I want a yes or a no. You absolutely don't need to do that to close deals. Nice bubbly. I've been on Nicorette lately. I don't smoke, but the little cat nicotine just keeps my brain zinging. Anyway, discovery. This is like this is where the call is made or broken, make or break or whatever. So first piece is the problem and the pain. Notice that these are not the same thing. We want to really understand what is the logical problem in their words. How are they thinking about the problem, right? What is going on? What's got them to the call? And then we want to go into the pain, which is how is it impacting them? How long has it been going on? We want to spread that impact of the problem to different parts of their life outside of the context of just what they got onto the conversation to talk to you about. So if you sell fitness, talk about how it's affecting their relationships, talk about how it's affecting their I don't know, whatever, their business, their job. If it's a business thing, talk about how this problem's showing up in other areas of their life. That is the target. So we got to go below surface. So if someone came onto the call just asking, how can I get more leads? Understand, don't ask them, how long have you wanted to get more leads? And it doesn't really matter. So these are in no particular order, by the way. I would say these are the main qualifiers. These three. And these are the things which are going to help you position your transition, position your pre-pitch, position your offer. You're going to ask these questions to eliminate as many objections as you can, to find as much information as you can. Think of it like you're in the army and you're like behind enemy lines and you're kind of figuring out, okay, here's their base, here's their fuel tanks, here's their barracks. when we come into attack, we're going to hit here, here, and here. So we're getting the map of the territory so that we can make the pitch exactly what they want. So first things first, the target is to create urgency, right? We want a strong reason why. We want pain that's basically getting them to commit to change. Urgency to change is what we need. We need to create problem awareness. When someone comes onto the call, sometimes they don't know what their problem is. Sometimes they're not really aware of their pain. And through skilled questioning and diving into the impact questions, we can uncover that. Urgency to change, you have to understand urgency to change, commitment to change is the first piece of the sale. It's the first close. It's not to buy your shit. So they have a problem that they recognize and that they are committed to change. So often I pre-frame my calls. I don't have this in here, but there's this commit piece. And I like people to be pre-framed before they jump on with me. So that means they're aware of their problem already. They are wanting to solve that problem. They're not just coming onto the call for more information. And they're willing to commit financially if it makes sense, obviously. Or they're willing to invest if it makes sense, right? And if you come on to the call, if they come onto the call already agreeing to this pre-frame, like I would send this in a video beforehand. And then I bring it up at the beginning of the call, this commit piece right after the frame. It's a really, really high close percentage, right? It's going to increase massively because you're just cutting through a lot of the bullshit that people will come to the call in a different state of mind. They'll be here like, how can you help me? Versus, I just want to talk. So the target of this piece, problem and pain, urgency to change. Doubt, what's stopping them from solving the problem on your own? Why can't you solve it by yourself? All right, well, the target is what? The target is them telling you that they either can't fix it by themselves, they don't know how, or they want to do it faster. That's it. If you get either of those answers, good enough. And can go into that. Usually the doubt is one of the last questions in the discovery. It's just in this, it's right after the problem pain. What the kind of questions I ask to figure out doubt depend on the offer. If it's a B2B offer, like I'm selling right now, I'll ask questions about the constraints of their business. Like we sell basically a marketing program, helping people run ads, convert those leads, sell those leads, scale their marketing, all the tech stuff. But we work with all kinds of businesses, e-commerce, coaches, you name it. Anyone who's marketing online, we work with them. So by diving into their constraints, their numbers, and then asking them, what's their plan to fix that? Why can't you fix that by yourself? Or you can go a bit softer. What are some of the roadblocks? Like, let's make a list of all the things that are slowing you down, getting in the way, or stopping you from fixing this yourself. And the reason why I say it like that is because slowing you down and stopping you are two very different ways, are two very different things. A certain person will say nothing's stopping me, but slowing you down, there's a lot of people that'll be like, oh, well, I don't really know how to do this. I don't know the formulas. I've never done it before, blah, blah, blah. Cost of inaction. This one's so important, but so many people skip this one. So why is it important for them to fix this now? What happens if nothing changes? The target is for them to do what? There's multiple things, but in my mind, this is a value thing. It's a value and an urgency thing. It gets them to commit emotionally. And to understand that the problem is not going to get better. So I kind of think of the sales call in like before, during, and after. So we first map, you can do a sales call many ways. You can start with goals, but sometimes you start with the problem and you figure out what has the past been like? How long has this problem been a thing? How's it impacted them? How's it affected them? What if they tried to solve it? Why hasn't it worked? What's going to happen if nothing changes? But we bring the problem to the current state. Okay, how's it affecting you right now? Well, this is happening, this is happening. Okay. And then we stretch the problem to the future. And they can start to see kind of like the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, that old fairy tale. Or I guess it's not a fairy tale, but whatever. A Christmas tale. They get to future pace what's going to happen if nothing changes. They're only going to get fatter, their business is going to get worse, they're going to be in the same place this time next year. Well, why do you want to fix that? And then let them tell you. And then you say, okay, cool. Got it. We want them to commit emotionally to change and give a strong reason why they want to change. So ideally, this is something deeper. Well, if I don't do this, like I'll never be able to take care of my family as much as I want to. I'll never be able to do this. Won't be able to do that, whatever. Solution is an interesting one. Solution questions are essentially figuring out what is their current process for fixing this problem. What are they doing right now? What have they tried? And have they worked with anybody else who sells a service like yours? Have they worked with any other coaches? Have they worked with any other agencies? Have they worked with any other SaaS companies? What was their experience? Are they shopping right now? Are they talking to anybody else? You want to figure this out beforehand, because I made another training on objections, and I won't go through the whole training, but the first kind of like objections that we want to tie off are like, do we agree on the problem? Yes. Do we agree this is the best solution? Yes. Do we agree that you can't do it yourself or that you want help to do it faster? Yes. Okay, cool. Do you want to do it with us? Well, I don't know. I want to see what else is out there, right? We want to prevent that. So solution's interesting because the target is to see if they're shopping. Are they in shopping mode right now? And see what their beliefs are. Their beliefs. See what their beliefs are around buying. Have you ever worked with a high ticket coach before? Would you ever spend this kind of money? You know, what if they say no? Well, if you're dealing with a consumer who doesn't invest in themselves, it's a vastly different conversation than someone who is a professional buyer, right? Like a civilian versus like a professional buyer. Like me, I've invested $100,000 in myself easily, if not more, right? When I get on the phone with somebody and I can tell that they're a buyer, well, I've been in this program, in this program, in this program. I'm like, boom, this is like a green flag for me because I know that they're a buyer, right? So are they shopping? We want to figure out what are they looking for? How will they know when they found the right solution? Who have they spoken to already? What are they looking into? What kind of price points do those guys offer? Okay, interesting. Lots of questions like that. The other thing is like, what did they buy before? And here's a little secret about how we make decisions. The best predictor of a future decision is how someone made a decision in the past. So if they told you, yeah, I worked with this coach and it just wasn't that good. Well, what made you go with them? And write this down in the exact order that they say it. They'll say something like, well, they had a really good step-by-step process and they had really good social proof. And I really like that they did group calls, but also one-on-one calls. And you say, okay, cool. Anything else? And yeah, it was just, it was a really fun atmosphere. I don't know. Whatever they say, I would be writing those down in that order. So when I go to make my offer, I'm saying that, look, we have the same things. But when I make my pre-pitch, which is selling them on the solution that they need, not my service, in my pre-pitch, I'm going to say, well, the reason why you still have this problem is because this company didn't have this piece or whatever. You have to position your offer in such a way that it burns all the bridges that they're trying to cross to go from Hell Island to Heaven Island, right? So what did they buy before, and how did they make that decision? It's part of the solution. So solution's actually complicated. And when you get the solution right, especially if you can model, not model, but write down their adjectives and say, well, you know how you said you really hated this company, or you really hate that you're doing this. Well, the way we fix that is through this. Like you use their words back to them, they're like, oh my God, it sounds like the perfect solution. So next piece is the goal and the reason why. Pretty simple. We want the tangible benefit of them solving the problem. What's their desired end state? And why do they want it? How would that change their life? Okay, so what's your goal with this business? Oh, I want to get to 50K per month. Okay, and how far off are you? Oh, I'm at 20K. Gotcha. What would the extra 30K do for you? Oh man, I could hire more staff. I could expand our business. I could do this, I could do that. Okay, well, what about personally though? If you're making extra 30K, like what would change? Oh man, well, I could like take some money out and take my wife and kids on a vacation. Wow, when was the last time you were able to do that? Bro, it's been years or never. Huh, okay. Can I ask you a personal question? Yeah. Like, what would it mean for you to be able to do that with your family? Ah, man, it would just be like, it'd be everything. What do you mean? Well, I could finally like feel like I'm like supporting them like they deserve, all the da 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 da. Just getting into the deeper emotions, making it more real for them. Do not accept a bad answer. Their desired end state, you need a specific answer. If someone jumps on the call and they're like, I don't know, like when they ask about their goals, you have to spend time. You have to spend time here. Well, no, really, like, think about it. Like, how much money do you want to make? Or like, what weight do you want to get to? Or like, it's, you got to like help them see the future, because the only thing that they're buying on a sales call is the difference between where they're at and where they want to be. Right? The reason that they're working with you is they're investing in themselves through you. They're investing in their future through you. So the target is a specific metric that you can track, you can point to, and a strong reason why they want that goal. Again, very important that you get a good answer here. Now, qualifiers. Well, when do you want to solve this problem? If you found a way to get there, how soon would you want to get started on that process? And they go, probably like a month from now. You might go, oh, well, why not? If you could do it sooner, would you rather do it sooner, or like why a month? Oh, well, I gotta do this and that and this. Okay, so if you could wave a magic wand that just instantly got rid of this problem, you would want to wave that wand a month from now? Well, no, I would do it now. Okay, gotcha. Next qualifier, do they have the money and the willingness to invest in fixing the problem? And if they don't have the money, do they know someone who does? Do they have access to someone who does? Are they resourceful? So depending on how good of a lead they are, they might be, you might get the sense that they're broke. So if they're broke, qualify, like hard qualify them before you get to your pitch, because your pitch takes a lot of energy. And if you have back-to-back calls like I do, just get it out, just throw out the money right then and there. Well, gotcha, man. Well, this solution costs $5,000 to get started. Does it make sense to keep this conversation going? Oh, well, like their energy, once you drop that, will tell you everything. But then if you don't want to like really hard qualify them like that, ideally you get a sense through the call where they're at financially. You sell a non-ROI thing, I would be asking them about their job. What do they do? You could ask them questions like, how much money have you set aside to invest into this business? If you're selling like for me, for example, I would say, okay, because my goal is to get them to tell me exactly how much money they have. But the way that you ask, it has to be in their best interest to answer you truthfully. And so the way that I would ask is like, okay, well, there's lots of ways to scale this business fast, right? Would you rather grow this business fast or would you rather do it slow? I'd rather do it fast. Okay, well, the ways to do it fast are what? We could spend more money in ads. We could hire appointment setters. We could get an agency to help you. We can get ghostwriters. We can do this, whatever. Just so that I can make the best plan for you. How much money do you have exactly to invest into this business right now? Oh man, I got like $7,200. Okay, cool. Right? Cross that one off the list. With the willingness piece, I would often ask that up here in the solution. Are they willing to spend the money? They might have the money, but might not be willing. Well, have you ever invested in yourself before? Would you ever invest in a coach? What if you're a coach and they say, no, I hate coaches? That's a red flag. Like, you have to handle that. Well, why though? Do you have a bad experience with a coach? Well, no, but I just don't think that they're very helpful. I saw a tweet by Neil Patel who said you shouldn't hire a business coach. Oh, okay. But you never had a bad experience. No. Well, in that case, you might want to handle it right then and there. Well, dude, you know the Olympics, right? Do you know why all the athletes in the Olympics, even though they're objectively the best in the world at what they do, they all have coaches? Do you know why? No, why? Well, at that level, it's even like a 1% tweak can make or break the entire game for them. It can be the difference between getting the gold and getting bronze. And they go, does that make sense? Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So that's willingness. But we want to know that do they have the money, basically. And then support. Do the people around them support the decision to solve this problem? Their spouse, their business partners, right? The target is to eliminate the I have to talk to somebody else to make this decision. Well, there's many areas of the call to bring this up, but you can do it after this kind of discovery piece or at the very beginning of the call or somewhere throughout it. But before you get to the transition, make sure you ask, oh, by the way, are you married? You have a family? Are you taking care of a family or are you on your own? Yeah, I got a wife. Yeah. Oh, awesome. What does she think about? Do you guys work together in the business? No. She's like a stay-at-home mom. Oh, okay. Well, what does she think about you growing this business? Is she supportive? Wow, she's always worried that I'm gonna blow money and then we'll go broke. Oh wow. Does she know that we're having this conversation? What would you say if she did? No. You can kind of have a similar situation with a business partner. Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask. Are you running this business by yourself? Are you like a one-man army, or do you have like a team behind you and business partners and stuff? Yeah, I got a business partner. Okay. And does that partner know that we're on this call? Does the partner know that you've been looking for help getting more leads or whatever you help them with? Oh yeah, they know. Okay, cool. And should that guy how do you guys split up the responsibilities in the business? If you're selling a marketing offer and the business partner helps with marketing and the person you're talking to is like an operations guy, you might want to rebook another call. Well, wouldn't it make sense to have them on the call since they handle marketing? No. I can make the decisions. They might say that, but then they can weasel out. But ideally, we're uncovering it if this is going to be an objection that we're going to have to handle. So we can just mentally prepare at the end of the call. Even if we go through all of these and we miss some of the targets, you're like, oh, fuck, I forgot the timing objection. So I'm going to have to handle that when it comes up because it will, or it's very likely to. So assuming we check all of the boxes here, transition, you always want to confirm that, yes, well, guess what, man? Based on everything we spoke about, what we do here will definitely work for you. Or I really think that we can help. Right? Some people kind of skip right past that part. I have a little pre-pitch in my transition now. I want to get them, I want to recap and say, okay, so it sounds like the problem is this, right? And the problem is that you've been trying to go from 20K per month to 50, and that you just don't have a steady stream of leads, and the people that you do talk to aren't qualified, and your sales process is kind of janky. Am I missing anything? Nope. Okay, so what we need is a marketing system that brings in not only more leads, but people that have money to pay. And we need to figure out a way to get your closing percentage from 20% to at least 30 to 40% ideally. And they go, yeah, that's what I need. Okay, cool. Well, with that said, that's exactly what we can help you with. I can walk you through that from A to Z, or you let me know. Where would you like to go from here? So that there's a piece here. You can give them some education on the problem. The education piece, the problem education piece is like, really what I'm wanting to do is just burn the other bridges. So let's say that they are considering running ads. They're also considering doing Instagram shoutouts, and they're considering just doing organic, and you help with ads. So you basically want to like burn the idea of them just doing organic, and you'd want to like get rid of the idea of Instagram shoutouts. So I just make something up. So, oh, great. Well, given the fact that you want higher qualified leads and you want more of them, the most scalable way to do that is to run ads, because it's literally the only system where you can just, as soon as you want more leads, you just spend more money. But the problem is just cracking the code of how to successfully do that. With organic, it's always going to be up to the whims of the algorithm, how good your leads do. And you'll never really know if they're the right quality people, and it's way slower. And you said you want to get there faster, right? Right. And with Instagram shoutouts, you really have to vet the companies and make sure that their audience is real, and that they're qualified. And then you need a system to warm them up. And so, not to say that they can't work for you, but just take a lot longer and they're harder to scale. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. Oh man, well, I guess I need ads then. Yeah. Well, dude, let me walk you through how we can help. And then with the presentation piece, it's just a matter of you think of Swiss cheese. You have a big block of cheese with holes in it. I like to think of it like my offer fills the holes in the cheese. And it's like, wow, this is the exact thing that I need. Well, here's what we can do for you. So, number one, we're going to install a lead generation system to attract the exact type of people you need. So you need a specific messaging to repel the broke people and attract the people with money, right? So we need to dial in that messaging. Then we need ads to get in front of them so that we can start filling your funnel with leads. And then we just need to iron out the kinks in your sales process so that people show up ready to buy, right? So they have less objections, and your closing rate goes from 20% to 30, 40%, even 50%, like our other clients, like John, who's able to do this in just 8 weeks. We doubled his business, throw in some case studies or whatever. And so before we go into the temp check and stuff, you would just say, well, does all that make sense? Yeah. We're not really doing targets here as much. The targets are really the discovery. Temp check, we really want them to buy in on your presentation, right? Do you feel like this process will get you where you're looking to go? Yes. Is there any reason why you can see it not working for you? Well, in a temp check, we want to do this type of languaging, but ultimately we're flushing out the uncertainty objections. If you did a really good job, they should be like, man, this is exactly what I need. But if they're not like that, you need to figure out, what are they unsure of? Because you might have missed something. And you also want to figure out, do they even believe that they can get to the result? Because sometimes the biggest objection is not you or your offer, it's them. They don't even believe it's either possible or that they can do it. Yeah, it's possible for other people, but I don't know if I can do it. okay, well, we're gonna have to like life coach them a little bit before we get to the investment. Investment's easy. Before the investment, I would do a timing thing, right? So there's timing, which is like, do you want to solve this now? And then there's time. Do you have the time to do this? The bandwidth. Bandwidth is a better word. Bandwidth tie down. Okay, so this system takes about an hour a day to execute. Can you do that? Can you commit to an hour a day so that you build a system to grow you to 20K or 50K per month, whatever example? And they go, yeah, totally. And it's awesome. Well, then the only thing we have to discuss is the investment. Before I go into that, do you have any questions about how this works? And often I'll have that up here in the presentation. Before I even go into my presentation, I'll be like, well, after I explain exactly big picture what the promise is, it's like, cool. Well, what we do is we work with people typically around the 20K per month mark. We help them grow to 50K per month through paid ads and through fixing their sales process. Does that pretty much sound what you're looking for? Or what? Oh yeah, that sounds perfect. Cool. Well, what questions do you have for me? What would be relevant for you to know? And then let them ask you all their questions, and then you can make your presentation even better by tying in those questions to your presentation, answering them throughout the presentation. The piece I don't have on here is the logistics. The logistics of your offer. It's like, okay, well, there's a course, and then there's a one-on-one call where we onboard you and create a game plan. And then there's the support and there's the accountability, blah, blah, blah. You can explain it like that. Another way to do it, which is better in a way because it's like more benefit driven, is by walking them through, like future pacing them, right? So cool. So in the first 7 days, we're going to do this, which is going to give you this fast result, right? We want to explain the logistics of your offer with benefit language, right? You're going to get this fast result. This is going to happen. That you're going to experience this. We're going to do this with you and then this with you. And by day 7, you should be here. By day 14, this will happen. By the first 30 days, you should have your first, 5 sales calls booked, or whatever. Whatever. You just walk them through what they can expect. Does that sound pretty much what you're looking for? Do you feel like that would be helpful for you? You want to have these little trial closes throughout the call. You feel like that would be beneficial to you? Yeah, 100%. And then the temp check is, I just explained it, but the temp check is really where we like really tie them down that this is exactly what they're looking for. So after the bandwidth, we figure out they have the time to do it. The only thing left to discuss is the price, the investment, right? So the investment to get started is just 5K. So the investment to bring you from 20K to 50K per month in the next 4 months is just 20 grand. So the investment to bring you from 10K per month to 30K per month is just 8 grand. Or you could do it. So the investment to bring you from 10K per month to 30K per month is $8,000 spread out over 3 months. Or if you want to prepay in advance, it's just 7K. So you save $1,000. Any questions on how that works? And then there's stuff here with the uncertainty. I made a whole training. There's actually a lot more than this that I went into in that training. So I will maybe link that in the description of this YouTube video. But overall, these are the targets. And if you just understand why you're asking these questions and you're chill, you should close a lot more sales. So that's that. I can go deeper into a lot of this stuff. If you have any questions, DM me, comment them below, maybe in the YouTube channel, or message me wherever you can. Twitter or Instagram's easy. And I'll be happy to answer them, okay? Hope this helped. Thanks for watching. Turn this off. And bam.